Yo guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. I hope you're well. Now today we are reacting to 10 most powerful gangsters ever. Now, there's been a lot of people in the world. I'm probably surprised if you see like Pablo Escobar here. We know about him. But we're going to be interested to see who the most powerful in this guy, whoever made this video, who their 10 most powerful gangsters are. Let me know down below your most 10 powerful gangsters, or the most powerful gangster you think that ever lived, or just your favorite gangster that ever lived, down below. And yeah, let's see what everyone comes up with. But it's really fun to see this because, you know, as much as people hate gangsters, they are very interesting. And to be fair, you have to give some of them credit when they get to a high level and make so much money, because it takes a bit of know-how to do it. Not everyone can do it, you know. I know it's wrong, but you know, you have to give the credit where credit's due sometimes. You can't always look at it. You have to look at it from the negative side, but you can also give them credit where credit's due. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But anyway, before we go into this video, please hit that like button down below. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the share button. Well, it's not really a share button. It's really just hit the share and share the video. And yeah, please turn those post notifications on so you know every time I upload a video. Because we're trying to hit 100 subscribers, that is, and we're not far away. So let's get there as soon as possible. And thank you all guys for your support last week and not abandoning me when I took a week off. And yeah, thank you everyone. Now let's get into this.
They were the ultimate villains. They lived life king-size and ruled kingdoms with iron-fisted methods. They made more money than is imaginable and spent it on decadent luxuries and glittering parties. Their cruelty is legendary.
Okay.
Everyone, from judges, policemen, to senators and presidents, were in their pockets. They knew that real power lay with them and were not afraid to use it. Their lives are the stuff movies are made of. In this video, we've listed 10 of the most powerful gangsters of all time. Here we go.
Alright, let's see it.
Number 10. Frank Lucas. Frank Lucas capitalized off the heroin trade in the 1960s and 1970s by using an East Asian connection during the Vietnam War, cutting off the Italian mafia who controlled the trade in his Harlem at the time. Lucas, originally from North Carolina, employed members of his family to take over the heroin trade in New York and New Jersey. Lucas would claim to have sold $1 million worth of heroin a day in his prime, and claimed to have a net worth of over $52 million on top of a large supply of liquid.
Yo, back then, $52 billion was crazy. Like, that's like billionaire status nowadays.
Liquid assets, namely heroin. Number 9. Griselda Blanco.
Who's this?
Griselda Blanco, also known as the Black Widow or the Cocaine Queen of Miami, was a drug lord for the Colombian Medellin cartel. She controlled the cocaine trade through violence and intimidation, making $80 million a month during the 1970s and 80s. Reports claim that at her peak, Griselda Blanco had more than $500 million. After serving 10 years in jail on drug charges, Blanco would return to her native Colombia. Number 8. Anthony Salerno.
She went back to Colombia, but you damn right know she had all that money stashed somewhere, so she's still living the life. You can imagine that.
Italian mobster Fat Tony Salerno made his millions running the numbers and drugs racket in East Harlem after most other Italian mobsters left the area, as it became more black and Latino in the 1960s, making tens of millions of dollars. As the frontman for the Genovese crime family, Salerno was named the America's top gangster by Fortune magazine in 1986.
Imagine seeing Fortune magazine, you see the paper and it says you're the top gangster. Because the whole point of being a gangster, normally, apart from if it's Al Capone, I think, and is it just Al Capone? There's another guy I'm missing, but you know what I mean. They normally try to stay low key, but like, imagine just opening the paper one day and seeing like, oh, damn, I'm on the front of the newspaper as the top gangster.
Due to his wealth of more than $1 billion and influence. In 1988, Salerno was convicted of racketeering charges and was sentenced to 70 years in prison. Number 7. Carlos Lehder. Lehder was one of the founders of the Colombian Medellin cartel. While in prison, Lehder met Boston-born drug trafficker George Jung, who helped him import and distribute cocaine from his native Colombia into the United States, accumulating $2.7 billion. Cocaine made Lehder so rich that he owned his own island in the Bahamas and offered to pay off Colombia's debt.
Imagine owning your own island in the Bahamas and just saying to a country, I'll pay off all your debt in Colombia. What's mad is though, what about that, like the cocaine trade stuff back in the days with like Pablo and everything like that? The American government they were involved as well. They were taking a big chunk out of the cocaine business to fund the Vietnam War and stuff like that. Well, allegedly, I should say, allegedly. This is what they say, but mad.
Later would eventually be extradited to the United States and sentenced to life in prison, which was reduced after he agreed to testify against former Panamanian President Manuel Noriega in 1992. Number 6, Meyer Lansky.
Who's this?
Lansky was a Jewish immigrant from Poland who would make a fortune of gambling, both legal and illegal. Lansky would join notorious gangsters Charles Lucky Luciano and Ben Bugsy Siegel to run a gang that would be known as Murder Inc. Lansky would later turn to focus on gambling, setting up operations in Florida, Las Vegas, and Cuba before the Cuban Revolution. In 1982, Forbes would name him as one of the 400 richest people in America.
Oh, really?
Lansky would be indicted for tax evasion and fled to Israel. He would later return to the U.S. to face charges and was acquitted in 1974.
Already?
Lansky would die a free man in Miami at age 83.
Hey, man got acquitted.
Number 5, Joseph Kennedy. Joseph Kennedy is the patriarch of one of America's most powerful and prestigious families. One of his sons became president, another district attorney, and presidential candidate, and another a senator. At his peak, Kennedy was one of the richest men in America.
Yeah, I know.
But as the saying goes,
they always say that Joseph Kennedy only got the reason JFK got into power was because of the mafia and his connections to him, allegedly.
Behind every great fortune, there is a great crime. Kennedy was already in the liquor business before Prohibition, but according to several books and gangsters, became a bootlegger with ties to the New York and Chicago underworlds after liquor was made illegal. After Prohibition ended, Kennedy made a fortune off selling legitimate liquor as well as through Hollywood and the stock market. Kennedy was named one of the 20 richest people in America in 1954 by Fortune magazine and had a net worth of more than $300 million, which would be in the high billions today. It has been reported that Kennedy contacted mobster Frank Costello, who was known to brag that he was a bootlegger with Kennedy, to use another mobster, Chicago's Sam Giancana, to help his son John get elected through his ties to Chicago and the unions. Number 4, Amado Carrillo Fuentes.
His name's long.
Amado Carrillo Fuentes was the head of the Mexican Juarez cartel. He was known as Lord of the Skies due to his private fleet of planes, including 22 private 727 jet airliners, which were used to import cocaine from Colombia to Mexico, where it was later smuggled into the United States. Fuentes had an estimated net value of $25 billion, almost twice as much as Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg, and the DEA called him the most powerful drug trafficker of his era. He would die while undergoing plastic surgery to alter his appearance in 1997.
Imagine being that big of a gangster, that big of a bad man. You're worth billions, and like you're worth more than Mark Zuckerberg for flip's sake, and you die having plastic surgery. Of all things, you know, that had to be something booky going on there. That had to be something dodgy. Like, there's no way you can just die or like that, rah. Especially the money he had.
Number 3, Joaquin Guzman Loera. El Chapo is one of Mexico's most powerful drug lords. He is the head of the Sinaloa cartel, which smuggles in billions of dollars from Colombia through Mexico and into the United States. Guzman became rich enough to make Forbes' list of 1,000 wealthiest people in the world, as well as their top 60 most powerful people in the world, with a net worth of over $5 billion. Guzman was jailed in 1993, but escaped from prison in 2001, and is currently number 1 on the FBI's most wanted list, with a $5 million reward for his capture.
I swear he escaped and he's still out. Yeah, you ain't finding him now, unless he slips up, but I doubt it. 5 million, you know.
Number 2, Al Capone.
Al Capone.
Al Capone is perhaps the most powerful gangster of all time, and also one of the richest. During Prohibition, Capone controlled the illegal alcohol, prostitution, and gambling rackets in Chicago, which brought in $100 million a year.
Imagine dying young and still being known as like the richest and one of the most notorious, or the most notorious like gangster.
At its prime, Capone's money allowed him to bribe police officials, judges, and even the mayor of Chicago. Unfortunately, he could not bribe the IRS, who convicted him of tax evasion in 1932 and sentenced him to 11 years in prison.
See, you need, if you're a gangster, you need everyone on your payroll. You need one person from everywhere. And you'd be making that much money, you'd be able to get rid of it and make it back again.
Number 1. Pablo Escobar.
Has to be, right?
Escobar is perhaps the most powerful drug lord of the modern era. He ran the Medellin cartel, which imported billions of dollars of...
Did you know that most people probably do, everyone knows who Pablo Escobar is and most of his stories, but if you didn't know, Pablo Escobar had that much money, he actually forgot sometimes half the places he buried it. And also, part of his money used to get eaten by rats because he used to store it in so many different places, like in ceilings and stuff, the rats would eat it. That's crazy, right? Imagine being that rich that you can store like millions or even probably billions of money away, forget where you pull it because you've had that many places to plant it, and how many roofs you put it in, and how much money's been eaten by rats. That's crazy, right?
Cocaine into the United States. Pablo's money brought him great power, as he was able to bribe officials or have them killed if they wouldn't take his bribes. Forbes magazine named Escobar the 7th richest man in the world, with a net worth of $25 billion. In 1993, Escobar was killed by Colombian forces with U.S. assistance after he escaped from a Colombian prison.
He shouldn't have escaped that time. He thought he could escape and make a new deal. Big mistake. He had his prison was a hotel anyway, basically, his own house.
That concludes our video of the...
Okay, that's the top 10 most powerful gangsters ever. Let me know down below which one was that you know about most, or which one's your favorite one, or whatever down below. Most people will probably say Pablo, but try to be creative. And also let me know if there's any other ones that wasn't on this list that maybe you think should have been on this list. Let me know down below. And yeah, I'd probably go for... see, I think there are a lot of the people on there. You know what? Pablo's my guy, but just not to be generic, I might go for Al Capone still. I like Al Capone. He was the one. So you let me know down below which one was your favorite, or if you have a different one that should be on the list. And yeah, hit that like button down below. Hit that subscribe button down below. On the way to 100, baby. Share the video and turn those post notifications on so you know every time I upload a video. Thank you guys for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. I'll be back very soon. Peace.